This is our content, sponsored by Geographics Media.
Okay, so our last episode was what is potential? And we talked a lot in that episode, but immediately following that episode, Jay, you already had an idea to what you wanted to talk about for this episode. So I'm looking forward into us diving into it to see what's going on in that head of yours, my guy.
I'm a liar, barely feel remorse. I'm a cheater, letting my nature take its course.
Let's go. This is the Our Content Podcast. He, Big J the artist. Me, my name is Step, aka Cyncere Wizdumb, the energetic enigma from E-Town. You know what it is. So, Jay, you were talking to me all this week about what you wanted to talk about this particular episode. So, hey, let's get into it, my good man. Let's get into it.
Well, during the last episode, at the tail end of it, when we have our talks after it's all over with, I came up with something that had been on my mind all year. Actually, it's been my uh, um, slogan or motto for this year, and it is "Pearls before swine," and not casting your pearls before swine, which comes from the book of Matthew, 7th chapter, 6th verse, and I have it right here with me. So I'm going to read that. Don't give what is holy to unholy people. Don't give pearls to swine. They will trample the pearls, then turn and attack you. So ultimately, what that means is, and it's open to interpretation, but really, what it means is that you just have to be careful with what is spiritually valuable to you, and where you offer it, and where you give it. It's to be freely given, but you have to know there's a time and a place, and people who will accept it, uh, will accept what you're offering, and you just got to be careful with that, because some people's response and their reactions will vary, and
Correct.
some will actually they'll respond in a very wicked way when you're trying to present some things to them that is actually for their own benefit. It benefits them if they take it the right way and they use it the right way, and that's with a lot of things. Almost anything that you're giving in good faith and with goodwill can be considered. I'm not going to say it's considered holy, but it can definitely be considered a good thing. Something that you're trying to give someone, and that could be some type of help, some type of advice, just helping them in a certain way, and it could be constructive criticism. It could be all kind of stuff, but you just have to be careful with who you're dealing with when you're offering those things, because people don't necessarily take it. And the one thing through my experience is, especially with like constructive criticism, uh, you just have to kind of know and read the room, so to speak, and know who you can speak with in certain ways to help them and guide them on the right path, because not everyone is going to accept your help in the way that you think they probably should.
Can I go back and which version are you reading, Jay?
Uh, Man, I got so many. This is the New Living Translation.
Okay, so I also have, since we've been talking about it, I pulled up the New International Version that says, "Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces."
Hmm.
Another biblical reference about dogs. If you go back to Proverbs, it talks about dogs returning to their own vomit, which is I'm co-signing what you're saying. So to piggyback off of the last episode about potential, what in that episode just pretty much set you and triggered Matthew 7:6 in your head about pretty much giving, your pearls, well, not throwing your pearls to swine.
Well, when we talk about potential, that is one of the things that when we were talking about seeing potential in other people, that can prompt us to want to help people, and in turn, uh, casting your pearls, your pearls of wisdom, your pearls of resources, your pearls of time and effort to want to help people who you see potential in. And so I think that kind of is what led me to thinking about that. And honestly, that's just been something that's been on my mind, and us having that conversation really kind of led me to that, because no matter what we do as podcasters, as just men in general who have a positive outlook and who are trying to pour back into our community, uh, uh, at the end of the day, we're going to be people who really want to help other people and want to bring people along with us. That's one of the purposes of this podcast, is to enrich other people's lives, whether it's something that's inspirational, whether it's something uh, that can just help get them through the day and to the next day, day by day. So we're kind of doing that anyway through our podcast, but we know that not everyone is going to take it that way. Uh, so some people get triggered by things. You never know what's going to trigger them, and you never know how people are going to interpret what you're trying to do, and you're trying to help people. So it's all about just being careful with your resources and knowing that some people, it don't matter what you do. You can try to help them, they ain't gonna feel it, and some people will actually resent you for it.
So if you go back to through 7 verses 1 through 5, it pretty much talks about judgment, and it talks about the speck in someone else's eye versus the plank rather, in our own eyes. And what happens a lot of times, I think, is a lot of times when you're trying to help people, a lot of the times some people are reluctant because they think you're being judgmental. Our job as believers, our job as podcasters, our job in whatever we do in life is to be discerning about the people we do reach out to, because people, I think in a lot of cases, people feel a certain way about themselves, and in some cases they beat up on themselves, but they don't want other people to know it. They put up this persona of being, this bravado of just being cool or being like they have it all together, but deep down inside they are pretty much being governed by fear in so many cases. So when people do walk up and try to say, hey, my word that I don't like, you have the potential to do this, that, and the other, a lot of people take offense to that. Some people don't. Some people have open arms, but we have to be very discerning about the people that we reach out to, because we don't want to get to the point where we want people to think, hey, they're beating us over our head with this. They're beating us over our head with this fear talk. They're beating us over the head with guys don't do this, ladies don't do that. They're beating us over the head with all of this stuff, and that's not the case. We just at a point in our lives, and I'm going to take it upon myself to speak for the both of us, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, but we're at a point in our lives where we don't have time to play. We're very much trying to walk into our purpose of as believers, to help people, to try to build up the body, because it's treacherous out here. It's treacherous out here, B, because it's so many people out there just free falling, just doing whatever they want to do, whatever they feel like they should or should not do. A lot of people just don't care. My beef is, I'm sick of people doing, so many people doing the wrong thing, getting smacked on the wrist. Instead of people standing up saying, hey, you know better, you can do better. Stop coddling. Call it
Well,
like it is.
I agree. That's one of the reasons why people take things so wrongly nowadays is because they've gotten coddled 99% of the time, and then that 1% where somebody calls something out, even if they're doing it gently and lovingly, they don't know how to take it because they were going through a majority of their lives, and people aren't telling them anything. They're not pulling their coattails and saying, hey, tugging them and say, hey, you might not want to do it like that. There's a better way that you can do that, and then also giving your own testimony as a, hey, I might have gone through something like that, back in the day, and this is what happened as a result of it, and using that experience, whether it was positive or negative, using that in a way to help someone and pull them up. People don't do that much anymore. I've seen so many people just turn their head to situations that they know are wrong, out of fear of rejection, out of fear of someone reacting, violently or angrily, at them. So I've seen that happen so much, and then people just don't really want to step up and step into situations that are going south and correct it. And people don't like to take constructive criticism, correction, uh, well, like they used to. And not saying that people always used to always adore being corrected, because correction hurts. Correction doesn't always feel well. Correction leads to action in an opposite direction from where you're going. So sometimes you have to put the brakes on and turn all the way around and then go in another direction, and that can be a pain to people. But with discernment, the thing we have to lean on is just prayer and asking the Holy Spirit to guide us to
Right.
who we can speak to and at the right time. Because when we're attuned to the voice of the Holy Spirit in our lives and in our hearts, then the Holy Spirit speaks to us and say, hey, this, talk to this person, help this person, go see about this person, call this person, text this person, I'll guide your words. Just show up, just be there. I'm gonna give you what you need to say and do at the appointed time. And that's how God works. Is when we obey the command and we start following in the steps that God commands for us to step in, then things start to open up. A
Right.
resource that you didn't know you had might appear out of nowhere, or you'll realize something that you had that wasn't even that much to you. It may have been a common thing, but it's something that could be just that one thing that somebody needs to get them to the next place or the next level, and then
Well,
it becomes part of both of you guys' testimony.
correct. Just yesterday, actually, uh, Dory was frustrated.
That's how we're doing it now?
She was frustrated. And I saw the frustration, and I just kind of peered over.
Mm-hmm.
And she took a deep breath. Now, I don't know where you were from as a listener, but when somebody takes a deep breath, where I'm
Mm-hmm.
from, it's either frustration with something going on that they're trying to figure out, or it's frustration with somebody tired of hearing your mouth, and that deep breath is followed by somebody standing up getting ready to fight. You know what I'm talking. And so she didn't get up and get ready to fight. She was frustrated, and she says, I just don't understand why people have to make these bad decisions in order to try to learn and grow. I don't understand why people have to do that.
Really, Step?
And I just looked over there at her and wanted to see where it was going to go. And she was deeply frustrated about, about a situation that was just, it got her. And I stopped and I sat there and I said, you know something? It's a part of what people have to go through to get closer to God. Because we all have free will.
Right.
I told her, in your situation, the only thing that you can do is let this person know that you love them, you're with them, and it's okay for them to fail at something. Because what happens a lot of times, people don't want to hear what you have to say, even though they know it's right. It's just certain powers out there, cosigns them to get what they want out of them in a lot of cases.
Yeah, and those powers don't care about them.
They don't care. Correct.
Right.
So at that point in time, again, you're casting your pearls to people who really don't want to hear it. They hear it, but they don't listen to it, because it's easier to listen to the person who's telling you what you already want to hear. You're just looking for people, certain people are just looking for people to say, hey, go ahead. You know, that's what you want to do anyway. And they benefit from it. And
tell them that they deserve something.
Right. And I went on and told her, listen, I don't want to hear how, and this is piggybacking off the I love his potential, her potential type stuff. Another saying that really gets me while we're talking about casting off pearls to swine. One of the things to get me, and again, forgive me if I seem to be judgy. I'm not. I just have to be discerning in people that I talk to, because I've learned that when people are telling me certain things, bruh, I just kind of, I moonwalk up out of there, B. I will straight up moonwalk up out of that piece, because I already know, based on what you're telling me, what you're looking for. And I'm not gonna tell you that. I'm gonna give you love. I'm gonna, give you peace. Holler at me. And I'm gonna dip, because I'm not wasting my breath. I'm not beating a dead horse dealing with you. Some people like it, some people don't. But I went ahead to tell her that a lot of people kill me with, man, I made this mistake because, girls, a lot of women are really bad at it. They say it a lot. But I'm kind of tired of it. And I'm not trying to be insensitive to situations, but at the same time, you need to hear it. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. Stop going to the wrong places.
Right.
If you learn the first time, then you know what to look out for. You have to figure out what's going on with inside of you. I told Dory this. People have to get to the root of their situation in order to pull up out of it. You have to go to the root, destroy the root of that, and just pull up out of it. And what happens, it all boils down again to doing the work. Doing the work. So when you're giving your pearls of wisdom, your pearls of knowledge, your pearls of understanding, your pearls of finance, your pearls of whatever you can to try to help someone up, if they're not in a position to receive it, like the word says, they'll take it, trample it, and tear you to pieces. They will take your stuff. They will continue to drain you dry, because every leech needs a host, bro. Once they tear you up, they go on to the next. They're gonna move to the next. People, ladies and gentlemen, stop giving the driver's seat to people who cannot drive. If somebody else's life is not great, why would you entrust that person with making yours better? And that's the and that's the whole thing. That's why I told her this too when she and I were talking. We had a great conversation, and I said, what Jay and I do, we try to be a voice. We try to be voices for the men, African American men, especially the men, because we don't have many people speaking for us.
Right.
Let's talk about the places where we put our pearls. 9 times out of 10, is on people who they've really never wanted it.
Right.
They need a band-aid. And when they feel like they're better, then again, hey, peace out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll come back when I need something else. Or
Mm-hmm.
they find something that they think is better, or they find somebody they think is better they can get more from.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll turn on with you, they turn on you with that person.
Yeah.
And dog you out. Good men and good women for that matter, who are truthful, who are loving, who are believers, who are true to something higher, something more than themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it. We are tired of cleaning up the mess that everyone has made in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to hear the words of wisdom because they require work. What you want us to do is to show up in your life with a broom and a mop.
Yeah.
And
clean up that mess, and then they make another mess. That's
with the
all.
same person who made the mess to begin with. In a lot of cases, they're a revolving door, and it is to the point where we don't have time for that. We do not have time for it. It's time to get it together and do get it together. It's time to get it together, B. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We talked about it last episode. What is potential? It's something that hadn't been done yet. But the thing that has been done with a lot of people who are the people that turn and tear up good people is you've allowed other people or other circumstances to make you believe that you're not better than it. Bro, I got a million of them. One young lady, why do I keep on attracting all of these vultures? Because you got a dead spirit.
Oh, a buzzard.
A vulture don't hang around life, B.
You're right about that.
These people who are out there just kind of circling around whatever, if they feel like you broken a little bit, they will swoop in. You give them the keys to the car. Now you entrusting your driver's seat to someone who cannot drive.
Are you blood in the water?
Or sharks. Everyone, dogs. Biblically, all of them represent something. Not wild dog. Jackal man. I mean,
jackals. You got to say it with an L on it, real hard L on it. Jackals.
But that's the truth, man. I sat last night and listened to her, and a million things just got ignited in me to where you just have to let people figure it out sometimes.
Yeah. You know what? With me, man, one of my faults, I would say, is that it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. Is that I'm an extremely good listener, and I think sometimes that I listen, even if there is a hint of judgment in my mind, I listen without judgment, without showing or stating judgment. So I think sometimes people think they can just come tell me anything and and they might think that I agree with them, but I'm really just kind of stoic and I'm hearing them out because I'm the type of person I need to say something out loud, and when I say it out loud and it's something that is not my smartest thought that day. If I say it out loud, when I hear it out loud, then I realize that that's not what it is. That's not what I should be thinking or what I should be doing. Once I hear myself say it out loud, so I listen to people thinking that they're going to do the same thing when they're saying something that is just totally not right. But they may or may not think that they may or may not understand the signal that is not right, and they might just be saying it out loud, thinking that I might be agreeing with them when I'm really just a listener. And I've mastered the technique of hearing you say something and tuning you out at the same time. Um, I'm just really good at that. I can hear you. I can look right at you and hear you. But once I hear you saying something that is just kind of crazy, then it's like my ear just kind of closed. But I'm still looking at you, and I'm getting little bits and pieces of it, but I'm not necessarily taking it all in. And really what I'm doing at that point is I'm analyzing uh, our relationship and how we communicate. And if you're the type of person that I could just be like, hey, all right, well, let's just stop it right now, and then I'm gonna tell you, A, B, and C. This is you're not going to reach your destination if you're doing it the way that you just expressed
Right.
it to me that you want to do it. But we have to just have discernment as to who uh, we can we can speak with like that. But also, but I don't really want to just cut a person off. But at the same time, our time is valuable, like we were saying earlier, and that I'm inventing creative ways to get out of situations like that because I get very frustrated with a person who is not really trying, from what I see, is not trying to truly better their situation. They just want to
Right.
keep talking about it over and over again, and I get tired of it after a while. I need to see some progression. I need to see something. I need to see
Right.
some forward thinking. I need to see something changing because after a while, our conversations are going to start getting cut short.
Right.
But because I've done the whole casting my pearls uh, upon swine before,
Mm-hmm.
and I've gotten burned a few times trying to do that. And
Oh yeah.
what happens is you end up wasting your own time and
Mm-hmm.
start getting pulled in directions that you don't need to be allowing yourself to be pulled into if you don't speak up and say, "Hey, well, this is not where I need to go," and
What?
I don't see this situation getting any better because A, B, and C
Uh-huh.
is you're not doing this and that, and then moving on. You don't have to wallow in the mud with pigs. If you wallow around in the mud with the pigs, you're gonna get dirty. So keep yourself clean. And also, what I mean by saying that is you don't want to end up doing something out of character because you're
Mm.
dealing with someone whose actions will eventually pull you
Correct.
out of your character. Because if it's someone that keeps getting in crazy relationships, stuff that's violent or stuff that is just crazy or just just disrespectful and things that don't honor God, and they keep doing these things even though you might have a heart for their situation and that person and want them to be better, if you keep wallowing around in that nonsense that they are wallowing around in, it's not going to put you in the position you're trying to go in your life. It's gonna soil your spirit and your heart, your mind. It's gonna deplete you
The
in
Pete.
ways
There we go.
that will change you and bring you back to stuff that you fought and prayed to get out of. And you don't want to get caught up in that. You definitely do not want to get caught up in that. And that's where discernment really has to kick in and a true prayer life where we not only pray, but we listen for the voice of God in our lives to say, hey, I don't want you to go back to that. I delivered you from that. And this person, this situation they're in, their mindset, the type of spirit they have, they're hard headed, they're stubborn, they're stingy, they don't want to give up anything that they got going on because deep down in their heart they are so prideful and so caught up in having what they have. They don't want to let anything go. Do not let that situation change you for the worst because I have a plan for you. You have a purpose, and I don't want. I'm paraphrasing God. I can't speak for God. I'm just
Right.
paraphrasing. I don't want you to get caught up in this situation, and I definitely don't want you to go back into that pit where I delivered you out of. So don't feel like you're obligated to go back and always reach and pull people up because those people have a whole army of other folks right behind them, willing to yank you back down
Break you back down.
into the muck and the mire. And you do not want to get caught up in that. I know
Well,
from experience.
well, the Bible also tells us that if we're casting our pearls and we're trying to help people, we're being, using discernment and trying to give people something good, give something people to look forward to, give people the good news that they are okay, that everything is fine. You're in the likeness of God. You can be whatever you
Hmm.
stand up to be. if they don't want to hear that, we have to keep it moving, bro.
Hey, it's Jason Thomas, aka Big J. I just wanted to say thank you all for supporting our content. We put a lot of love and effort into what we do, and I just want to say thank you all who watch us, who support us. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Peace.
And I mean, that's biblical. Hey, what does it say? Shake the dust from your feet and go on to somebody who will. You cannot beat people over the head with it. You just can do what you can do, and you just, you have to keep moving forward. And you said a mouthful. It goes back to Spiritually Wounded, our episode from last season. That's the point I had gotten to. Straight up depleted, bro. I was straight depleted, because that to me goes along with the whole, people turning on you, tearing you apart. If you care about me, you're not trying to suck the life out of me, man.
Right.
You're not trying to do that. The great speaker Willie Jolly, I heard him speak one time and he was saying that he asked a question, and it just, my mind did a cartwheel because it was so profound.
Right.
He asked how many people had children, and when these children start learning how to walk, when they stand up and they fall down, how many parents tell them to just lay there? Think about that. When Oli stood up and fell back to her bottom. Come on, Oli, get up. Come on. At some point, the kids, they learn how to say uh-oh when they do it. It becomes a fun thing. They stand up, they fall to their bottom.
Right.
Uh-oh. And then they'll stand back up. When they start walking, they can see another kid fall. And that kid, they'll be like, uh-oh. It becomes ingrained, like, hey, uh-oh, I fell down. I need to get up.
Get back up, yeah.
I need to get up. So when people start growing into adulthood, somewhere, especially in this day and time, they 38 years old, and they 70-year-old mama, baby, don't get up. You fine. Let me do this. And that's where we are. That's where we are. That's where we are. You can call it the way you want to call it. You can be mad. I don't care. I don't care. Let's just call it how it is.
Right.
You have to let people stand or sit there, because at the end of the day, that's their life to do it. All you can do is give them some pearls of wisdom and encouragement. What they choose to do with it, what they choose to believe, is not up to you. The only thing you can do is give them something good. Don't do anything against them and hurt them. But if you're giving people your best and it's positive, it's good, it is building them up, and they just be like, whatever, then whatever. I'm not going to keep on trying to, y'all gonna pull me into the situation where this ain't my world. I'm not, I don't function well down here. I like to get up. When I fall, I jump up. I love a challenge. A challenge.
Hey, people are going to get up for what they want to get up for anyway.
Damn.
That's the thing. Everybody got something that they're going to get up for. So that's really how I look at stuff like that. Because if you're listening to what they're saying, they'll tell you what they get up for, and that's normally the thing that got them falling down in the first place. Is the thing that they're getting up for.
What do they get up for in a lot of cases? Give us an example.
They get up for dope. They get on that dope. They get up and they don't want to get off. They start riding. They ride that white horse. They get on that, or they walk that white dog. They start walking that white dog, and when they poop on them, they want somebody else to walk by and clean it up.
That's pretty much it. I'm sorry, man. Oh my God.
You let that white dog in your house, they're gonna poop all over it.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. People move for what they want to move for. And a lot of the times it's the thing that requires no commitment. It requires zero energy. It requires zero hardships. I just want it easy. So who are you to tell me? Who are you to tell me? Look at what you used to do or what you did. It's always the past tense. So they can pull the plank that they go after is pretty much something in the past that they used to manipulate you into doing something for their present.
Right, and that's why you got to walk away.
Yeah, you have to. You really have to, bro. You something wrong with you. Something's wrong with you, bro. Dude.
The white dog. The white dog. Bow wow.
My
white
God.
Dog. See, folks, see what happens when you start walking that white dog, it start walking you. You walking one time, then after that, he walking you. You ever seen somebody walking a dog that's real big, like a Rottweiler or something like that, a real big, powerful dog, and the dog is really walking them? That's what it is. That's what that white dog, that's what that dope dog do to him. That dog is leading them down the street through the dog park and pooping all over the place. He pooping so fast you don't have time to clean it up.
That's the equivalent of what I told Dory. So many people, I'm so starving for somebody to co-sign me that whoever does it, I trust them from this point on. We a team. Then get dogged out, get manipulated, get taken for granted, get psychologically damaged to no ends. Oh, I was looking for love in all the wrong places. Again, so you went to the same place. You went to the same place 10 times, and now
so they
you
the
got
wrong place.
Boom.
Love don't want them.
No, and so you put them in the driver's seat of your life, and and what happens is they put you on a crash course, and then they jump out the car.
All right, they'll ruin somebody in a situation. Somebody who really truly is a loving person.
Right.
They gonna run up on that person and get their life ruined.
Right. And so the good woman, the good man, the good person, the person who has your better interest at hand, they have to come with fabuloso, pine saw, a broom, a mop, a dust rag, and everything else to try to clean up the mess that it was okay for everyone else to make. Well, they got the potential to clean it up, but they didn't. And so you get these good people in your life, a good circle of friends, or even groups of believers that try to lift you up, and you burn them slap out. Because I made this example to her too. I was like, people are, so many people are roaches because a lot of bad, manipulative, jacked up people who don't want to hear what you got to say. They scatter when you turn the lights on because they roaches. They get up out of there. But what happens is the people who are trying to pull up out of there, that's why a lot of times they'll say, well, I just went through a dark place. You went back to the dark place where the roaches are because they're not in the light. Once you come out of that darkness and you see something, yes, it's blinding in a lot of cases, but you have to stay the course and do the work. Why go back to that? Why go back to that? And that's why it's so important when you give in your pearls, when you give in your all, when you just digging deep and you trying to help somebody because you see their potential, bruh, I don't care who it is. Sometimes, bruh, you just have to shake the dust from your feet, wash your hands, get rid of the residue. God lifts people up. Get rid of the residue, and you have to get out of the way because it's not your job. We're not God. We gave them all we could give them. At some point, it'll hit them right here, or it won't. We have to get out of the way. Wash our hands, wash that stuff off of us, and just keep it moving, son.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the reasons why God at times blessed us with overflow, because he understands how wicked the world is. and knowing that out of your overflow, uh, there might not be as many people who are truly blessed, uh, in the truest of all ways, where they are going to take that blessing and pay it forward and use it as a testimony and use it to better their lives and better the lives of others. So that overflow is basically saying like, I'm gonna give you so much that even the rats and the roaches are gonna eat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because there's so much that I, first and foremost, I'm going to show you that the blessings that I have no limits, because I am
Right.
the God of abundance. I am
Mm-hmm.
the creator. I've created it all and I have it all. So I want to show you what my abundance is. I want to give you a little piece of the abundance that I can give you from the heavenly kingdom, first and foremost. So that's for the believer to understand what a powerful and generous and loving and truly wealthy God I have. There's a supernatural divine wealth that's way above and beyond our understanding of money and resources here on earth. That's small time to God. You understand what I'm saying? So he can give you an abundance to where uh, people who ain't even worthy sometimes can try to reach up and grab a little bit of it, but they might even get a little change in the process. At the very least, they'll be intrigued as to why you are getting have this over an abundance of blessing, and then you can then they'll attract them, and then you can plant that seed of your experience with God in them, and they might burn you. They might not appreciate it at first, but that seed is still planted. So the initial actual going in and trying to help someone, uh, it's still a good thing, but it's just the fact that you just don't want to keep doing that over and over and over again, because that's when
Right.
you are in danger of entrapping yourself and putting yourself in a situation that you don't need to be in, or you have prayed and been delivered from. So
Well,
yeah, that abundance can show people that you got folks that don't understand how you're doing things that you're doing, because they don't understand how God works.
well, see
And
the thing about it too, and I you and I talk about this too. If you're gonna do something out of the goodness of your heart, if you're gonna do something for someone, do it with no expectation of them ever doing
right,
something good for you. Do it with no expectation. Just do
right,
it out the goodness of your heart, and at the very least, you can hope that somebody's mindset would change and they would rely on somebody higher than us.
mm-hmm,
That's the best we can do when we set out to help someone. Be when anybody goes out to help someone. Be now.
mm-hmm,
What happens is if a person has that swine mentality
right,
that will turn and tear you to pieces, they'll look
mm-hmm,
at it as, man, Big J got these resources, so I can get this through him. That guy Cyncere got these resources. That guy Bubba L on the record, so he got these resources. Third got these like the whole crew, Rupp, Buffalo, because like all these geographic cats, they're good guys. They from good people. Everyone that they are connected to are good people. People connected to them are good people. So if they have a jacked up mindset, their whole aim is to infiltrate that and just kind of mooch and not grow at all.
right,
And everybody get burned. They're man, they'll mess up everything you got going on. But the person who really wants to put in the work,
mm-hmm,
they're learning from us and the people that we connected to, especially the main source, God, that we are connected to, and that helps them grow. Each one teach one, and they pull
yeah,
someone else up. That's the thing. That's the only thing that we can ask for is for somebody to take that love and that kindness and grow from it, and not not pig out and trample us.
right.
That's
Big
all.
out, yeah.
That's all. That's all I got on it, B. And that, man, this, whoo, man, I've, you know, son, every emotion that I have, I felt it in this episode. I've laughed, I freaking cried.
Mhm.
That white dog thing just, something wrong with you, man. Oh my God. You got anything else to say before before I sign off?
Hey man, all I gotta say is thank you, Lord God, because you've given us prayer, and through prayer we can always ask the Lord to protect us, protect our giving, protect our generous hearts, our generosity, our actions, and pray that the Lord does not allow our generosity to be misused for nefarious purposes from someone who does not appreciate it, or for someone who just wants to cause us harm, or who just wants to use it in a way that is not good. So I would say just to keep that in our prayers, and just let God handle the rest, because He's more than able of watching over us. He protects us and guards us all the time. That's why we're still here now to do what we're doing. Because God has protected us through the years. We've had some storms, but hey, we still here, and we're doing it, and we're able to share our experiences uh, with you guys, and that just brings me back to just all the time. I thank you guys. I love you. Thank you so much for just rocking with us, and just be careful, man. Leave that white dog alone, because once you walk him once, and he gonna walk you every time after that. They always talk about folks getting dog walked. That's what it is. That white dog. Leave that white dog alone.
If you wanna ride, don't ride the white dog.
Leave that
Oh
thing
my,
alone. Y'all leave that dope alone.
oh my goodness. Well, you can you can uh you can check us out on YouTube, TikTok at Our Content Podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can get at us at Our Content Podcast, Instagram, Our Content Podcast, Twitter, where X, formerly Twitter, at Our Content Pod, and you can email us Our Content Podcast at gmail.com. As usual, I like to say, keep God first, love each other, and just continue to rock with us. We get at y'all next episode. Peace.